What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. I am your host, Love Coach Scott Catamas, and welcome to the Awakening World and the start of a new season. It's October 1st. Wow. And so as we enter the final quarter of this year, I want to welcome all of you. I see many of our friends, our regulars are in our Zoom room, and we're going to make tonight a very interactive show. I have fewer guests than usual, and that's intentional because I want to interact more. I always like to have a lot of interaction when we start a new season with all of you, our loyal friends and fans and family, really. And I also want to welcome everybody watching on Facebook. A big thank you to John and Summer Raymer. They run the Sign Network, and that gets us out to as many as 100 different Facebook groups and pages. It's always really fun when I go back and I look at the analytics and I see all the different groups that are carrying our show. So thank you, everybody that does carry us. Thank you, John and Summer. They received a big award last weekend, and a lot of you saw that. And it was really fun to see them get the annual Big Global Community Award. So thank you. Now, if you are watching on Facebook or on YouTube, you can continue to do so, or you can come directly into our Zoom room, and it's easy to do that. Go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and then just click where it says Join Fall Season Now. And when you click that, it's going to take you to our registration page. And we do 3 shows every weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning. And every show is different. And so when you register, you're going to get the links to all of our shows for the rest of the year. And we've got a lot of wonderful things that are going to be planned and happening. All the people you see there are some of the people who are going to be on this year, or this quarter, I should say. That's the show we did last night, What Women Truly Want. Of course, this is the show we're doing tonight, all about purpose, integration, and magic. And then tomorrow, Oneness Awakening into Radiant Health. And tomorrow we've got some remarkable people coming from all over the world. We've got a woman coming from Sweden, and another person from down under, sharing some powerful tips for healing. Now, another reason you want to register with us is that if you've missed any of these shows, on Monday, we send out an email with the links to the recordings, to the replays. And more and more people are watching our replays. We also have a very active YouTube channel, which we will give you access to, where you can go back and see any of our shows. You know, I've hosted over 500 shows since the start of the pandemic. It's incredible how it adds up. And these shows are wonderful with lots of wonderful speakers that you know and love, as well as the next generation. And it's a little bit what we've done tonight. We've got some new presenters that you have not seen before, and we also brought back some of our favorites. So I'm going to start with our beloved brother Omashar is with us. And don't worry, Omashar, so I'm scrambling. Just letting people know you're here with us.
Aloha and namaste. Yes, breathe.
Thank you for that. Omashar will be sharing some music with us. As always, he's our house musician. And speaking of music, we brought back one of your absolute favorite musical artists. Tatiana is with us, and she's going to give us not one, not two, but 3 musical offerings. So Tatiana, it's great to have you with us again. Thank you.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we are also bringing back another favorite. Where is Shaun J? Where is Shaun? There he is.
Here I am.
I'm going to go to gallery view for a moment so I can find you. There he is. He's back. Shaun J, who is absolutely one of our favorite presenters. And yes, he's going to do some magic for us. But we're also going to talk with Shaun. We're going to learn more about what it's like to be Shaun J in his new venture. He's got something very new that he's doing, which I have enjoyed participating in. So we're going to get your questions ready. Everything you've always wanted to know, but we're afraid to ask about Shaun J is going to be taking place tonight. And then we are going to meet a wonderful new couple that have not been on the Awakening World before. This is River and Diamond. And they, I've been hearing about you for a long, long time from so many of my friends that have taken your work and that have really, their lives have been so dramatically impacted by the work of the Total Integration Institute. So we're going to meet them and talk with them and learn all about their work in just a few minutes.
Thank you,
And
Scott.
then, yeah, it's great to have you with us. Welcome.
Yeah, we're here in central Mexico.
Oops, we're going to need, there we go. I muted the other one. So are you down in San Miguel de Allende? Oh.
Can you
muted.
unmute one of your computer unmute?
Yes.
I can unmute.
Ooh,
You gotta keep one unmuted and one muted. There we go.
Okay, can you hear us?
Yeah, but we're getting a big echo because I guess you've got 2 programs open. So,
Let's see if I
well, you know what? While Tatiana plays the first song, maybe you can just close out the other one that was causing the echo and keep this one on.
Does this work?
Try talking to me again, please. Nope, now you're muted.
Testing 1, 2.
Yeah, we're getting a really big echo.
We are, and I don't understand why.
You have 2 iterations of Zoom open.
Okay.
So if I can remove one if you like.
Yeah, please.
Yes, remove one, yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I went ahead and removed it. Try talking to us now. Just unmute.
There we go. Test 1, 2 test.
We
Perfect.
got it. Fantastic.
Great.
Hey.
Great when
Thank you very
technology
much.
works.
All right. And I just want to acknowledge, I'm going to go to gallery view for a moment. For those of you who have your cameras on, look at some of our favorite friends with us. Dia, who just got back from Ecuador. Our beloved wild mystic abbot Jerry's with us. Pat and Pam and Eleanor Joy. And of course, those of you who still have your cameras off, we love you as well. So with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Tatiana. We always love having a lot of wonderful music on Saturday nights. And Tatiana, you're absolutely one of our favorite artists, and it's such a joy to have you with us. So welcome.
Thank you. It's a joy to be here. This is my favorite community, and Honestly, this show, Scott, has really brought me back into the world. Like, it's played a huge role in my life, and I'm very grateful to you and very grateful to this community for just receiving this music and this message. And it's given me a lot of confidence even to go beyond and into different audiences. So I'm very grateful. And yeah, so the first song I want to share is a song you've heard here before. It's called Ignite. I want to play it again. It's a song I'm going to be playing at an event coming up in Vancouver that will be live streamed around the world, which I'll talk about a little later. But this song is really my own personal anthem for being the change I want to see in the world, and it's also my call to action to all the change makers around the world, and also in a way a celebration of us and all that we're doing. All the beautiful people on this call are change makers being the change in the world, and it's a celebration of that too. So this is called Ignite. The world is changing, the world's on fire. I want to do my part to inspire change. I want to make my home a sanctuary of love and peace and harmony, and be the change I want to see. The earth is my home, the earth is my mother. We will never have any other to help renew, rebuild, rebirth, a new way to be on earth. I wanna ignite, catalyze, take flight, burn like the sun, dispelling the night. Help humanity find its way back home. I want to unite, stand and rise, shine bright, bring the truth into the light. Help humanity find its way back home. Come and dance, come and sing, come and pray, come and bring all you are and all you love. A new day is dawning, I feel it calling us to help rebirth, a new way to be on earth. I want to ignite, catalyze, take flight, burn like the sun, dispelling the night. Help humanity find its way back home. I want to unite, stand and rise, shine bright, bring the truth into the light. Help humanity find its way back home. Let's find our way home. Let's find our way home. Let's find our way home. Let's find our way. I want to ignite, catalyze, take flight, burn like the sun, dispelling the night. Help humanity find its way back home. I want to unite, stand and rise, shine bright, bring the truth into the light. Help humanity find its way back home. Help humanity find its way back home. Help humanity find its way back home.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, everybody.
You know, I remember this song, of course. I didn't know you were going to play it tonight, and it's so perfect for the start of our new season, Tatiana, because your words, your lyrics are what the awakening world is all about, and the people that we are blessed to have on the show, our presenters, are all about, in their own way, and all the people watching, being change makers and coming back home. And I don't know if you noticed, but Dorina wrote, I was so inspired by this song when I first heard it a few months ago that I personally transcribed these wonderful lyrics. So I'm really grateful and happy to share them. And so she posted them in the chat box.
I'm so touched by that. I saw her transcription when she wrote it and I was blown away. So thank you. That really touched me when she did that.
Yeah, thank you, Dorina. That is really, really cool. And it's true. I mean, I just encourage everybody to look at those words and this is where we are now. We have to embrace this incredible change that our planet is going through and that we, humanity, have to go through together. And thank you, Tatiana, for such beautiful inspiration and putting it in a way that is very, very palatable.
Thank you, Scott.
And you've got something really exciting coming on. I just am opening up a website. And this is a conference. Tell us about what's going to be happening in British Columbia on October 9th.
For sure. So for the past 5 years, I've actually been working on building this organization. It's called the Visioneers International Network. And it's bringing together wisdom keepers, change makers, environmental activists, peacemakers, all the thought leaders of this world together in this beautiful network, which Scott Catamas is, of course, a member of, and many of our other friends in this community. And on October 9th is actually the official launching of this organization. And so there's going to be an event. It's going to be live in Vancouver at the University of British Columbia, and it will be live streamed around the world. And it's going to, just sort of be a celebration of this network and also an invitation to people to come and join us. It's going to include music by the Vancouver Bach Children's Choir. I'll be playing. There'll be also the UBC opera students who are going to be performing. We're going to get cameo guest appearances by Jane Goodall, Jean Houston, and Baring, and Irvin Laszlo, some of the other friends that you guys know. And it's just going to be a beautiful, heartwarming event and celebration. And afterwards, there's going to be an invitation for those who want to participate with us in forming your own leadership circles around the world. And the leadership circles are really a chance to start creating little ripples of change within your own communities. And so we'll be kind of creating all these little leadership circles around the world, which will also be all connected together and kind of create a little wave of change across the planet. So that's the vision.
Tatiana, that looks wonderful. I've put the link into the chat box, of course. And I see your mom is going to be playing as well.
Yes, and my beautiful mother, who's an amazing concert pianist, is also going to be performing. And she's amazing. She's been on your show, which was very special. And and if you want to get in touch with me personally, I can put my email in the chat as well. Anyone's welcome to get in touch with me if you want to learn more about the event or any trouble registering or anything like that. Or if you want to know more about the leadership circles, I'll put my email in the chat as well after, I guess. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for doing that. And again, it's for those watching on Facebook. It's go to thevisioneers.ca. The Visioneers, Visioneers, Visioneers.ca. And then just register. Just click here on the registration button.
So the link to register is we don't actually have it on the website, so that's its own separate website that you're looking at there. So maybe just let them know that link, Waging Peace, is where they need to, if they want to come to the event, that's where you would register for that.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
So let me go to the other link then, that for registration, we go to, that's me. So, because when I'm clicking this, it is going to the Waging Peace.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll put it in the chat. There we go. So that is the registration link right there.
You know what's interesting is that is where it's taking me, but for some reason the registration link's not clicking.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe check it on your side, but when I go there, like see how I've got a little button?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we're having a Mercury retrograde moment.
Well,
But I'm sure it'll get a-
I'm gonna put my email in the chat, and anyone is welcome to reach out to me if you're interested, and if you have any trouble with the Mercury retrograde registration.
It's I can tell it's been one of those. My internet went out last night an hour before my show, so I had to drive to Sausalito and do my show from a friend's office. Then I had this relationship Scott song that you see behind me. Today was the big launch, 10 o'clock in the morning, and at 9 a.m. my internet went out again, and it was like, oh no. And then thank goodness it came back on. So it's just been, and then we had a little adventure with River and Diamond. So it's just, hey, we all breathe through it, right?
Breathe through it, yes.
Yes.
Actually,
Tough
before
guy.
the call, I had my own internet thing, so it's a miracle we're here.
All right, well, we will be back with Tatiana in a little while. Thank you so much. And I am so excited. I get to introduce River and Diamond to you. And as I said, I've been hearing about them for so long, but let me tell you a little bit about them. Diamond and River Jameson are the founders and directors of the Total Integration Institute. They've been partners in life and business for 44 years. I guess they started when they were about 7 years old.
That's good.
They are fully committed to leading passionate, authentic, functional, and integral lives together as reality artists. I love those words. Think about that. You know, I don't think I've ever heard those two words together like that. Reality artists. I'm going to definitely want to hear about that. They are trainers, educators, multidimensional expansion guides, mediators, and coaches. They love to empower people to be their true biggest and best selves and to explore and develop a truly integral experience and consciousness while enjoying a dynamic, co-creative, and meaningful relationship with others. They live with their dogs. I'm a big dog lover, as most of my regulars know. In their hacienda, that is also a training center and private art gallery in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. And boy, San Miguel is definitely such a spot. A woman that one of my best friends who I lived with for 5 years, Emily, she just moved down to San Miguel. Reverend Deborah Moldau, who's the regular co-host on the show, the leader of the Evolutionary Leaders Network. She is in San Miguel. So San Miguel is becoming quite a wonderful center for many of our light beings.
Very much so. It's definitely one of those international spots that is so Mexican in the most beautiful way of the culture, but also really draws people from all over the world.
A PowerPoint for the new consciousness.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, and Emily, who's my beloved, she sends every day. I get photos and videos, and it's so colorful. It's the most
It's very pretty.
colorful. Oh my God, everything is just filled with colors. It's like that Walt Disney or that Pixar movie that recently came out in Encanto. So, well, before we get into what it's like to be a reality artist, I just want to acknowledge 44 years together as a romantic couple, as a business partner. Now, as a relationship coach, I got to ask, what are your secrets? What are your secrets for a healthy, long-term 44-year relationship?
I think that's a really great question. There's a big answer to that. We continue sharing that information. The bottom line, it's love and respect and a commitment to co-creative partnership.
And I think another aspect of it is that ever since Diamond and I got together, that we came together in consciousness and in growth and in the recognition that that we were together to not only love one another and support one another, but also to unravel any cultural conditioning that we had together, ancestral conditioning, all the patterns that need to go. And so we've been doing that. We were doing that work individually before we met for some years. And we were also both medicine people. And then when we got together, we really had a foundation of that in our relationship of truth and the willingness to embrace one another's trauma unraveling as
Yeah.
much as we were all the beautiful multidimensional aspects of ourselves.
That's
And
right.
that all aspects of ourselves could show up here in this relationship, not just positive, not just anything, but all aspects of our being were here to be touched and healed and loved and brought into this relationship.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, of course, now we're learning more and more about our epigenetics, but it's a relatively recent thing. How have you worked with kind of your ancestral histories, your epigenetics? Because, you know, clearly you're very conscious in leading a very full understanding of the multidimensional nature of our being. What are some of your tips and tools for managing those ancestral or epigenetic aspects that can rear their heads in challenging ways?
I know River's got a comment on that also, but the first thing I want to say is anytime we talk about multidimensional, where we want to go there is that the more present, the more grounded, and the more here we are, the more multidimensional we can go. And I think that's one of the core secrets is like people want the multidimensional experience, the spiritual experience, but you don't fully get to have that if you're not in the zone, if you're not here. So that's the first trick.
So I think embodiment of the willingness to embody and the willingness to not be waiting for spirit's light to touch us, but to realize that we are spirit's light and that we are touching us and that we're touching all of ourselves and not leaving any part of ourselves out of that process. So I think that's really important. And I remember when I was young, you know, there was a certain point, my father was indigenous Mexican Indian. And I remember that I was grateful for that, but also I wanted like lots of ancestors. And I remember standing outside and hearing all the ancestral voices saying, there are so many ancestors available to every single person. And they're just waiting around the earth for people to ask for support and be willing to receive their wisdom. The ancestors are there for each person
That's willing.
that is willing to receive them. And then there's the unraveling of the ancestral patterns, you know, and of the cultural patterns, of the individual patterns, all of it. And so that requires a whole integral process, and it requires a somatic process, because I feel like so much of that is in the nervous system and the body. And so that means movement, breath, a willingness to work with one's belief system, all of those things that have been handed down.
And the emotional body.
And the emotional body, and really being willing to embrace all the feelings. And we don't really think that there's such a thing as negative emotions. We feel like all of the emotions are messengers. And so it's learning how to get all of those messengers functional and to not be reactive anymore because of our trauma patterns, but unravel those to the place where we can release those messengers to really work for us and empower us.
Wow. So a couple questions on that, just to kind of riff on it a little bit. When you're connecting to your ancestors, or maybe I'll reframe it, what are some tips for connecting? Like, I really touched on when I heard you say there are many ancestors waiting to guide us, to support us. Short of ayahuasca journeys or plant medicine, which is of course one way that we can peer through the veils. But what are some other ways to connect and receive that support, receive that guidance from the ancestors?
Okay, I'll respond first here. I think the main thing again is this. We individually need to be in the zone. So this is where our breathing practices, our expressing, releasing practices, being in a heightened state of awareness. And that's part of the skill sets we share in all of our trainings. So we're just not talking heads. We're just not talking about or thinking about it, that it's a full chakra awakening. And so the more that we are open and energetically present and moving, the easier it is to have a direct connection.
Yeah, and I think it's just being aware of the fact that they're around all the time and being willing to listen. That's it. It's just that not making it, it's like, it's great to set up some ritual moments where we maybe sit in front of our altar. Or out on the earth is really a fantastic place to listen to the ancestors, but be out on the earth in some beautiful place and be able to breathe and feel, and then open ourselves and ask and to trust what we get. And then there's a daily practice of just being willing to hear those whispers and being willing when we think of somebody maybe who's passed in our ancestry, of being willing to turn to them and say, is there something you'd like to tell me? Or if we also feel an ancestral line that we feel really attracted to, because everybody on this call will know that they've got cultures they're attracted to. Okay, and so it's not only, I always say that there's kind of a three-part thing of contacting our ancestors, our real physical, biological ancestors, and what is the very best of that line? What are the indigenous practices of that line? What is the strengths and the richness of that line? And to touch that. And then the second one is to go to one that we've always been attracted to and to start paying attention to that one that maybe we don't have in our biology, but we're attracted to it. And what's the richness of that? What are the gifts of that lineage? And receive those. And then I think it's also really helpful to go to the one we're least attracted to on the planet, and the one that we're most repulsed by.
Exactly.
And also really
What's
look
the
at
medicine
what's
there?
the medicine of that lineage, and what are the beneficial aspects and the gifts of that lineage as well. And what is it we need to clear with that particular lineage so that we can also receive that part of humanity. So that's kind of a three-part process that sometimes we have people do with the ancestors.
I love that. I'm really, really appreciating you very much. And one of the things that I'd love to just share, a thought that I've had that I've expressed frequently, and I'd love to see kind of how you relate to it as we talk about our ancestors. So often my clients, I'm also a coach, will complain about their ancestors. Oh, I come from a long line of alcoholics. I come from a long line of domestic abusers. And that pain is real.
Mhm.
And that's, but I always like to remind them that, hey, our ancestors went through incredible hardship to give us the freedom that we have today. And the incredible abundance that we have today. They crossed the plains, they fought in the wars, they crossed the oceans, they worked the 3 jobs. They didn't have time to deal with the alcoholism. They didn't have the resources to deal with those issues. But they've given us this amazing freedom and abundance that we have. And so I believe it's like a full cycle. Let's now take the time that we have and tools like we can learn from River and Diamond, or the many tools that we see from our various presenters on this show, and give back to our ancestors by taking the time to work on the alcoholism or the long-term ancestral challenges.
Yeah.
And then I like what you added, that they're there to guide us. And so maybe Grandpa as a personality was whatever, but now outside of the personality, back in the astral, he wants to give back to the ancestors.
Guess
He
what I
wants to give
learned?
Yeah. And some of those ancestors are really wanting to make amends, who knew that they added to the ancestral line in some way that maybe wasn't as supportive as they could have, or that it was downright traumatic. So some of them want to make amends. And so that's where we talk to them, where we feel how we feel about them, where we ask them for what we want, and for where we listen to what they have to say as well. And that there may be forgiveness, there may be amends that they want to make through supporting us multidimensionally. So I think that's also, but that is all accessible by also us healing the trauma that we're carrying inside of us, the feelings that we haven't felt, the patterns, the addictions that there's pain underneath all addictions. And so it's like whatever that pain is that keeps us compulsive, so that we can keep freeing ourselves up. And the more we can free ourselves up, the more we free up our ancestral line, and the more we affect all of the ones who went before us and all of the ones who came after us. And I think that's so important to know, is that for each one of us, every bit of healing we do is healing everyone.
Impacting in all directions in time and space.
Exactly.
We call this a nucleus effect. And one of the things we encourage people, our main job is to be the new possibility, to do the healing and to be in the zone and be the new possibility. And from there, we impact the world and the multi-universe.
And multi-generations.
Multi-generations. So
in that frame, as we kind of look at that, I think we all know that this is an incredible time in human history. You've been around for a while, you've seen a lot. Are you optimistic about our future, concerned about our future, skeptical about our future? As wise elders, what do you see?
You know, I think that for a lot of us who have been doing the work for so long, that in some ways that we've been prepared perfectly for this time. I think there's so many people on this call who have been, and it's trusting that we came here for whatever is happening. And that, yes, there are tremendous challenges, no doubt about it. And there's so much breakdown. But with this much breakdown, it's also an opportunity for breakthrough and new possibilities, because things are obviously not working on so many levels. And the new possibilities are springing up, and the new people are being born, and new frequencies are coming forth, new inventions, new everything, new music, new art, new people. And so I think that's also happening, and that we are the carriers of the new frequency, and that we came here for this, and that Earth is a hot spot right now of transformational energies and of becoming, and humanity's really making a decision of, are we going to embrace ourselves? Are we worthy of being here? And that's something that each of us decides by letting go of the generational toxic shame that says something's wrong with us, or that humanity's flawed at its core, and releasing that toxic shame, and knowing that we each are valid, that we exist, and that we're enough, and that humanity has at its core, I think, such an incredible goodness. I feel like we are love at the core. And so it's starting to tune into that, letting go of those toxic shame and guilt patterns, and coming into that love and embodying it, and knowing we came here for this, that we came here for all of it, for the challenges, for the greatness that's emerging, and to trust that process as much as possible. That's part of what we can do.
And see, what's interesting with that, just to tie into that, is that I can't do all of humanity, but I can do me, and you can do you. And that's part of what we're here in the circle, that each of us can be the best that we can be, and to be the new possibility. That's the key piece that we need to do.
Yeah, and to embody that.
And so with that, I feel very optimistic, because I have choice, and I'm passing that choice on to others. Not only do we have choice, but here's the skill sets to resolve some of that trauma and misunderstandings in the denial domain context, resolve and heal that, so we can move forward and be the new possibility.
And I think that's really a big part of it too, is to realize that we're in a contextual shift.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
that there's
key.
Some things about the old context that need to die, and to not be so alarmed by the death cries of an old context, because some of that context needs to disintegrate and is.
Yes.
And it's allowing that, while allowing the new to emerge in each one of us, and trusting that new emergence, and knowing that it's all part of the process, and it's all okay. And regardless of what happens, I feel like that we are the love, and that we are here for being that new frequency and those new possibilities.
Yeah.
So along those lines, I love that words, reality artists. What does it mean to be a reality artist?
Yes.
So, okay, I'll start. So what's interesting is that we already are reality artists.
Yes.
I think that's the first step, is getting conscious that we're reality artists, and that it's a co-creation process. But part of what's missing is that it hasn't been a conscious awareness And I think that's the next wave, the next phase evolution of humanity, is to become conscious that we are, in fact, reality artists bringing forth our reality experience. But it's a co-creation piece, and that as a reality artist, there are skill sets that will make a huge difference in how functional or dysfunctional of a reality artist we're going to be.
So it's just starting to relate to ourselves as evolving reality artists, realizing we've been doing it all along.
We're
Every
already.
single person is a reality artist, and every person is already doing it. So it's continuing to tune up and to have tools and skills that help us do that, to help us continue to be more impeccable, more sober in our process of what are the things that we can do to embody more, to get present here, and to make choices that really count right now. And so, but we're all really our reality artists all the time, aren't we? I mean, that's what we're all doing. And so when somebody sometimes goes, what do you do? It's like to say, we're reality artists. It feels like the simplest and most direct thing to say.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right. So what's an example of how you coach somebody? So maybe take one example of one of your clients who's stuck in whatever problem, pick whatever problem they're dealing with. And how do you help them tap into their reality artist to change or adjust or adapt to their challenge?
You know, one of the things is to realize that wherever we are, and I think all the conditions of each of our life are the exact conditions for our liberation and enlightenment. Every single thing about our life, every detail, there are no mistakes there. And by embracing where we are and who we are and everything we feel and every condition of our life, we start to awaken to the fact that the liberation is inherent in the condition. And so I think that's just really important, that there's no part of us that wants to be put out of sight of our love and our light and our embracement, you know, that they all need that love to come along. And so one of the things that we do is just support somebody in starting to feel how they feel about that, you know, about the conditions of their life right now, and not try to get away from it anymore, but instead in a full multidimensional embrace of being willing to say, this is where I am and it's okay. I exist, I'm valid, I'm enough, my life is all right. It's like with all challenges, with any pain, with any that I've got, with all the greatness I have, all of it is part of the process. And if I don't like that, then that's okay too. That the anger I feel or the rage I feel or the upset or the disappointment is part of it too. And we may need to grieve some about what we thought, who we thought we should be and how we thought it should be at this point. I know some of us who've been working for years thought maybe we would be a little further along in the evolutionary thrust of Earth by now, you know, and I'm sure a lot of the elders on here can relate to that.
Turns out this might be a multi-generational project.
Yeah, exactly. And that's okay. You know, that's all right. So there's, I think acceptance is really important, but it's not a blind acceptance, like a kind of toxic positivity. It's a acceptance that also embraces our feelings and maybe needing to grieve what hasn't happened and what we wanted to have happen that hasn't happened yet, and what has happened, you know, so and realizing that our grief is part of love. And that I feel like that grief is part of my love, and that it's a river that flows whenever it needs to wash me clean and take me back to the love all the way and to that embodiment of the love. And so I've come to really love my grief, love my rage, love that my rage is trying to get to boundaries and me having healthy boundaries in my life, that my rage is trying to deliver me, that my sadness, every feeling I have, that my fear is trying to pause me for a second so that I can process something and get a message, and that those feelings are messengers, you know, so by embracing all of me and all my life and all my feelings. And so that's what we help people do, is we help them start to know that they're okay.
And I think part of the
everything's okay
part
right
of
now.
the answer and the resolution there, and I think part of why we're successful with this, is that we're also trainers, that we're really into empowering people. Because we learned on the way. When I first learned about anger, I didn't have a clue about how to deal with this. So I gapped it and swallowed it and was a nice guy, et cetera, et cetera. But it wasn't until I learned how to express anger in such a way I don't hurt myself and my people, or the other feelings, how to embrace the emotional feelings in a functional way and express it in a functional way. So we give people the the skill sets and the practicum to be able, now that I'm aware of this, what am I going to do with this beast?
Yeah, to have a
What do I do with
somatic,
this?
to have a somatic process, to be
Yeah.
able to move feelings through our bodies innocently like a child, like a baby. We all
Yeah.
did it when we were 6 weeks old.
So here's
So
the
to learn how
skills.
to do it that way without hurting ourselves or anyone else or environment or anything, and to just in acceptance and breath and movement, be able to allow all of that to move through till it delivers us to the core message that liberates us and magnetizes that light in and that love into all those parts of us and gives us the ahas that show us the next step. And really all we need at any time is what's the next true step. We don't necessarily need the next 30, right? We just need what's the next true step now. So we support them in knowing how to do that process and come into that next step. And then with integrity, sobriety, a sense of impeccability, which is just about building energy, not perfectionism, of taking that next step and doing that. So it's a whole integral process. And then part of that also is releasing the belief systems that have been bound in the energy, because it's like the glue. Diamond always says that the belief systems are like the bricks, and the mortar is the emotional and multidimensional energies that are holding those bricks into place and making it feel like a real brick wall. So when we somatically release that energy and then we let go, it's easier to let go of the belief systems then and to really choose about them because we're not emotionally attached to them anymore. And so that it's a lot easier to let them go and to start having, clarifying what's our new values, what are our new intent. When we're clear and in our clearest space, what's important there, and to establish those as a beliefs, as a new value system of what's truly important, and to be willing to live those every day, even when we don't maybe feel as good. That's about the integrity.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, we're gonna conclude by learning a little bit more about the work that you do. So tell us about the work that you currently do. Do people need to come down to San Miguel, which is a wonderful place to go to, or do you go out, or is it all online? How do people get more River and Diamond?
Okay, so what happened with the pandemic, we went online. Prior to the pandemic, most of our events and most of our trainings were on location, which is great, but we're not quite ready to do that yet. So we moved the trainings to online. So our main piece is called Living Freedom. And more information is available at Living Freedom. There you go, livingfreedom.info. Thank you.
And it is a 10-week online event that is self-guided in the sense of that you get a module every week that's 2 to 3 hours long, and you can do it in your own timing over the week. And then there's a chat where people can get on and share their experience, ask their questions, and be in a group process one time a week for an hour. And so that's what we're doing now. And then we also have advanced modules. We have private work. We do private work. We also offer some scholarships these days for people who are struggling. And we have many people, like even in some of the Mexican villages, that have been bilingual enough from going to school that they've done it and taken some of the information back to their villages. So this is available to everybody.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's and I noticed that Tarina signed up for your free video. She wrote that in the chat box. So everybody go to livingfreedom.info, and sign up. I'm going to do that. I want to see what the video is that they provide.
This particular video is a training also. It's an introduction, but also a training. So it's really got some value in the video itself. So I think you'll enjoy that.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being with us.
Welcome.
I want to acknowledge our mutual friend, Prema Gaia.
Yes, thank you, Prema, for
yeah, and she's going to actually be bringing some of her friends from Costa Rica onto the show. We're going to do a whole show together in late November.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
I did want to
Scott.
say one last thing, just logistically, is that with this show, that we're offering a $600 discount or gift for people who sign up before the end of Sunday midnight. So
Oh, well, now what's the information?
normal fee is $1,000 for the training, but we're offering a $600 gift if
Wow.
this group sign up before Sunday midnight. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out the door so you have that opportunity if you feel moved.
Do they need to put a promo code in or something like that?
No, they just say they want to connect, like what you just did, signing up for additional, that's registering with us. We'll follow up with you. Just connect with us and we'll follow up with you.
So livingfreedom.info.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where you go. And thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, we
And-
appreciate it.
And lots of love to everybody here on here and for all the wonderful works that you're all doing.
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe we'd be free. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for being with us. If you get a chance, stick around. We've got some wonderful things happening. We're going to be spotlighting a wonderful organization, Purpose Earth. They're our fundraising organization that we're supporting this time. We always support somebody and raise money. And so if you get a chance, stick around. And thank you for 44 years of service. And I look forward to seeing how the next 44 years go.
Yeah, there
Yes,
you go,
us
there you go.
too.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
God's blessings. Thank you so much.
Take care, everybody.
You know, there's always this opportunity for us as we meet these beautiful people like River and Diamond. Really make sure you do go to the website, sign up, check out what they have to offer. Definitely get the free video. And I hope that some of you will choose to take their course. Clearly, it's going to be very dynamic and a wonderful way to take the next step forward in the evolution of many of the people watching. All right, it's time for some music. And beloved brother Omashar. Hey, pal.
Hey there, San Miguel de Allende, beautiful town.
You've been there.
I used to live in Mexico. I was there for, I lived there for 6 months. And it's because us musicians have partners in different parts of the world. And there's a musician joke. It's like a musician without a partner is homeless. And so anyway, my home was in Mexico for a while, Mexico City, and we visited there. It was phenomenal. And so thank you, River and Diamond. And I love Diamond, your purple, deep purple. I want one, please. Where did you get it from? And it's phenomenal. I'm going to sing a song, and it's called "Naked and Blind." And it was me imploring within myself that without divine consciousness, or rather, without divine consciousness leading me, I cannot truly see. So in that respect, I was blind, and divine consciousness can see everything about my life and all of my lives and everything within me. So with that perspective, it was naked, and only precurse the song with that, so that it has some kind of context. And Eleanor, it has a guitar solo in the middle, a rock guitar solo. So any air guitar aficionados out there can get their groove on. So haha.
Please show me how to reach you. Strip me down, let go of my mind. I was naked and blind. I'm finding it harder holding on to what's gone. And there's the future. What if we never get that far? I know it may sound crazy if I say not much is real. So tell me inside, how do you feel? This is the time to break the mold of the old and dysfunctional way we have lived our lives so far. And how much longer can we hold on to that which tears us apart? So free up your mind, open your heart. No longer can we hold on to that which tears us apart. So free up your mind, open your heart. And finally free from self-disguise, I rise from the ashes of the me I used to know. You know that I am a dreamer, and I would like you to see that I am dreaming a new
Please show me how to reach you. Strip me down, let go my mind. I am naked and blind.
You were right about that guitar riff, man. That was like, yeah, get a little air guitar going there.
I know it was a trip. It was done by it was recorded in Norway, and the whole track. I have some Norwegian friends, and it was actually a very famous Norwegian guitarist called Ivan Arset, and he was. We hired him as a session musician, and I said I want it to sound like this, and he went like this, and he went, that's it.
Oh, he did a great job. Well, and thank you, Eleanor Joy, for leading the dance party there. Appreciated that. Thank you, Pam. I'm going to put you on for a second. Pam, dancing away as well.
So much joy to see the joy of the people, the circle, the cycle is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And a reminder that we can always support Omashar by going to Bandcamp. Go to omashar.bandcamp, and that's where you can get his albums and support him. And you don't have to wait until the weekend. You can listen to Omashar music at any time by getting his music off of Bandcamp. So thank you, Omashar, and we will hear from you again a little bit later on in the show. So for those of you who are watching for the first time, the Awakening World is an evolution, and it all began way back in April of 2020 when the pandemic hit. And actually in March of 2020, my friend Deborah Giusti called me and she said, you know, we're going to do a fundraiser for Fantuzzi, and now there's social distancing and masks, and I was going to have a big event at my house, and what do you think we should do? I said, well, let's make it an online event. So we invited some of our friends who are musicians, and on April 3rd, 2020, it was a Saturday night, we did our very first show, a fundraiser for our buddy Fantuzzi. people really enjoyed it. They said, you know, while we can't go out and this whole weird pandemic thing's happening, why don't you, you know, like do it every Saturday night until this thing ends? We all thought it was going to last a month or two, right? Well, here we are 2.5 years later, and the pandemic has kind of run its course primarily, but we're still doing shows every Saturday night, and we're still raising money. And tonight we are raising money and raising consciousness and awareness about a really important organization. It's Purpose Earth. Now, many of you were with us last Saturday night when we had our big gala celebration, celebrating the conclusion of the 99 days of global unity and Peace Week. And it was really wonderful celebration. And if you were there and you enjoyed it, pop something into the chat box, perhaps. Well, that whole event, the whole Peace Week option, and that whole World Unity Week, to a large degree, happens because of Purpose Earth. Purpose Earth is a beautiful organization. And today we've got 2 representatives from Purpose Earth who are going to be with us. But to kind of get us started, I'm going to play a very short video to introduce you to their work. Beautiful video. You know, some of you also remember that for 2 weeks in a row, we raised money for the flood victims in Pakistan. Well, Purpose Earth was the organization that matched those donations. We and others raised $2,500, and Purpose Earth put in another $2,500. So they are a wonderful organization. So I'm going to introduce 2 people. We're going to start with Rhiannon Catalyst, and she is a dynamic woman. I've really enjoyed getting to know her. I've put a little bit about her into the chat box, but briefly, she is the creative director and co-producer of Purpose Earth. And she works with a dedicated team that's really become family as they are so focused on this incredible work to fund and mentor innovative grassroots projects around the globe. We're going to see some examples of that. She's also the co-author of The Art of Altruism in a forthcoming Hollow Movement book. Now, I'm curious what a Hollow Movement book is. I'm not familiar with that term, so I'm going to want to learn a little bit about that as well. She has a long background. At 21, she's the music director of one of the largest art and dance venues in New York City, curating years of events and interactive experiences, which is now a legendary award-winning cultural center. So, Rhiannon, you have an amazing history, an amazing background. Before we talk about Purpose Earth, tell us a little bit about this history of yours starting at 21, bringing arts and culture in New York City, which is not an easy place to create something like that. My hat's off to you. Tell us a little bit about your history.
Sure. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much, Scott, for having us here and for the incredible program that you've been producing for so long now. And to all of our fellow guests, it's just such an honor to be here with such luminary creators and change makers. My story really began when I was very young, when I was still in high school, and I had a very diverse experience growing up. My mother became Vedanta when I was a baby, so I grew up going to Hindu temples and hearing raga music and being surrounded by a lot of different faiths and different cultures. And then I ended up in Southern California where everything was very different, and I became very aware of just how much work we need to do in terms of social justice and healing the huge divides between people that I hadn't seen in my own family. So I started going to events in the dance music world, and it was one of the most healing, beautiful experiences of my life. I saw how much arts and culture can bring people together from all different worlds, and how much they can be a powerful tool for creating change. And I also saw really deeply troubling things happen. And so I saw the best and worst of what was possible. And I basically, when I was still a child, I decided to dedicate my life to using arts to create change. So by the time I got to New York City, when I was 19, I just threw myself in. And by the time I was 20, I was running one of the largest nightclubs and art spaces in New York, which was actually really experimenting with early immersive and experiential culture. So that's a long time ago now that led me up, though, to so much of that work. It's incredible because it's all so relevant to everything that I do now with Purpose Earth, with Bella Gaia. It's really one continuous line of having this experience of understanding how we can use these spaces, these experiences, both virtually and in person, and in hybrid ways, creating more and more accessible experiences that are open to people that need to come and experience things in all different ways. I work with accessibility companies now, Bridge Multimedia, learning a lot about accessibility. So it's one of the things that's deeply on my mind now as well. And we have the power to bring people together, as we all know here, across the globe, across divides, and share wisdom across generations, across disciplines, and heal our greatest problems, and do it from a place of joy, from a place of coming together, and dancing and playing and being in celebration and being truly present with each other and nourishing our souls the way we need to do to continue the lifelong work that we're doing together, right?
Beautiful. You mentioned Bella Gaia. And of course, our beloved Kristen Hoffman is part of Bella Gaia. And she was just actually this morning when I kicked off my Relationship Song, she was my special guest and did a couple songs. Tell us, what is Bella Gaia? And I know you've got something coming up in just, I think, 10 days in Texas.
We do. Well, so I'm so glad you brought Kristen up, because I'm eternally grateful to Kristen. Has become my sister, and it's because of Kristen that I am part of Unity Earth and Purpose Earth. She introduced me to Ben. She is the reason why. She told me, you need to meet Ben and you need to see this amazing place called United Palace. And Unity Earth asked me to direct Unity Earth Liftoff. So that was my whole beginning with this global community. And that's how I became part of Purpose Earth as well. So it's all because of Kristen Hoffman that I'm here right now. And yes, Bella Gaia, she is an angel, isn't she? She is such a gift.
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
And you asked about Bella Gaia, just to put it in brief form. Bella Gaia is an incredible, transformative, immersive experience that happens in the full scale show. It is with live musicians and dancers and beautiful data visualizations created by NASA. It's a program that was created directly in collaboration with NASA. and started actually with an educational grant. And the show also has a full dome film that happens in planetariums. There's a VR experience. There's all different ways you can experience Bella Gaia, and all of them come back to simulating the overview effect, which is the word that astronauts used, many astronauts started to use to describe the consciousness shifting experience of seeing the Earth from space for the first time. So Kenji Williams, the creator of Bella Gaia, realized that you don't have to go to space in order to have that transformative consciousness shifting experience. And if we want to change the world, not everyone can yet go to space. So we need to bring that down to Earth, right? And it's just an incredible show. I fell in love with the show. I had the experience myself of seeing firsthand how much it can shift consciousness. And for myself and for people in audiences, we've had people who literally were climate change deniers who changed their mind after seeing this show. So there's been literally a study funded by NASA showing the impact of the show. So the whole thing is designed to help people feel more connected to the planet, to the cosmos, and humanity, and to inspire stewardship. And we have a show coming up next week, yes, in Texas, in Irving, Texas, which we started planning 3 years ago. So we're very excited to be doing this show.
Oh, fantastic. Well, now thank you for sharing a little bit about your amazing history. And I think to talk about purpose, I want to show, I'm going to show one of these videos. I'm going to show 2 tonight, still 2 left, but let's take a look at this first one, because you talked earlier about your commitment to social justice. And a big part of what we talk a lot about on the show is that it's all connected. Social justice, racial justice, environmental sustainability, they all are part of a package of change that needs to take place. And I love how you're supporting people of color with projects that make a difference. And so we're going to take a look at one of your grantees right here.
This is the time that we need to let go of all of our barriers and the things that told us to not do, and let go of everything and really participate in oneness, humanity, and really care for each other.
Now, because I've been following and working with you all for a while, I happen to know the story of that young lady. And I'm wondering if you'd be willing to share with our audience her story, because it's quite extraordinary.
Oh, Scott, it is such a powerful story. And, I'm hesitant to share Nazarine's story because I really think it's really powerful for people to hear that story from Nazarine. And she has shared it with our whole global community through, and to put it in a nutshell is, I will just share that Nazarine is one of the most powerful young women I've ever met in my life. And she is working to end modern day slavery with an incredible organization of women who are empowering women in Nepal and around the globe to understand how they can work together and work with each other to create both, sustainability for their own lives and create goods in sustainable ways. And she's educating people about fair trade around the world. And her story is so deeply moving. I want people to take the time to really hear the full story and from her own mouth, because she shares it so beautifully and with so much love and forgiveness, despite going through some of the deepest trauma that anyone could imagine anyone suffering. Mm-hmm. So Nazarine, we are very, very proud to be working with Nazarine. We're very proud of everything that she's doing around the world.
Well, speaking of we, this would be a good time for us to bring on one of your primary partners. And this is Lawrence Singer. And Lawrence has been on the show once before, I believe, back when we were Saturday Night Live. And he brings an unusual range, depth, and diversity of experience. He is dedicated to establishing new business models suited for the 21st concept of doing well and doing good. He's, of course, on the board of directors of Unity Earth, and he's the executive producer for the Purpose Earth production team. And he's also the founder of Rhythms of the Globe, an entertainment company. So Lawrence, welcome back. It's good to have you on the show. What would you like to share about Purpose Earth and kind of your mission and what you folks are doing?
Yeah, thank you, Scott. I'm really happy to be here. Purpose Earth is an initiative of Unity Earth, and it was founded by Ben Bowler, Emmanuel Kunzelman, and Laura Rose to fund projects around the world. And Purpose Earth believes in grassroots activation for real societal change. Grassroots organizations have greater longevity and produce immediate real-world impact in their communities, increasing community strength, sustainability, and resilience. In addition to financial support, we also have a mentorship program, and I'm a mentor, and I can say that it's really, it's a wonderful experience to mentor an empowerment program in Botswana, and to see these local organizations grow. And the head of the empowerment project in Botswana, Angelina, just was at a conference in Sweden this year. Was at a women's entrepreneurial program funded and presented by the government of Botswana. So they're working. Our grant recipients work to activate their local communities, but also work in larger communities, and really are getting around the world. We have a dance company in Nigeria, Global Correlation, that restores coral reefs around the world. It's a combination of community art and environmental preservation. And speaking of art, I founded Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts in 1973 in Washington, D.C., and working with local arts communities in Washington. And I moved to New York in 1994 to start a record company, Global Beat, The Pulse of the Earth, with African, Native American, Caribbean, Chinese, and Indian artists. I've been on the board of directors of many nonprofit organizations. And I have to second what Rhiannon said about my understanding too, is that really the art and culture plays a tremendous role in this transformation. And all revolutions are supported by art in one way or another. So I'm very pleased to be able to bring this experience to Purpose Earth and to Unity Earth as we expand. We've initiated a program called Purpose Earth Champions. And Purpose Earth Champions, you can become a Purpose Earth Champion by donating at least $7 a month and committing it for a year. And 100% of the donations go directly to grant recipients. We have our operations funded. So literally 100% goes directly to grant recipients, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer and Treasurer of Unity Earth, so I can certainly, I was going to say testify, I'm also a lawyer, but affirm that I have a very experienced entertainment and intellectual property lawyer as well. And the Purpose Earth Champions campaign is I'll put a share something.
I put the link in already. Okay. And honestly, while you've been speaking, I just donated. It's that quick and that fast. So you'll see a donation from Scott, and they do it through your bank, but I was able to just very quickly go through. Wells Fargo sent me a little text message. I put in the authentication and boom, during Lawrence's brief little chat, that's how quick and easy it is to donate. And so I really want to encourage everybody to become a Purpose Earth champion. And go ahead, Lawrence, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but go ahead. And we are looking at your website.
Interrupt anytime, Scott. That's fine. I was going to put the QR code on here. This is the
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and pull up the QR code.
Okay.
This is another wonderful and easy way to do it.
Yeah, let me find it again.
Okay, I'll bring your partner Rhiannon back on too. And while you're pulling that up, let's go ahead and take a quick look at one of your other grantees, and that'll give you time to bring it up, because this is also a wonderful short little 1-minute video about one of your other grantees. So let's take a look.
How do you transform waste to gold? My Purpose project is titled Transform the Environment, Transforming Lives. My Purpose project was hosted in a peasant farming community in the eastern part of Ghana called Esikabiu. I went into the community to teach the women and the youth there how to transform the waste they create in their community into beautiful jewelry and baskets and artifacts for sale. Before I went to start the project, the people in the community were familiar with only one livelihood, that is farming, transforming and making cassava dough out of the cassava they produced. But now they have been empowered with a second skill, that is making with their hands jewelry and artifacts for sale. This has created a lot of excitement and hope, especially for the youth, as they know that they can make something out of them. They can make something for themselves that they once didn't know.
That is so cool. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much. And we are so grateful for everyone, all the incredible work that everyone is doing to create change. And this is, along with being one of the most joyful experiences of our lives, working together as a team and working to empower these incredible young leaders, grassroots change makers around the world. We are a growing community, and it's a joy to be part of this community. So I just wanted to share that and how much, we are, it's such a beautiful group of people. I just can't say enough about how wonderful Laura and Emmanuel are for starting this organization. They're two of the most beautiful human beings on the planet, and they're such a joy to work with and co-create with. And, I love how River and Diamond were talking about being reality artists. I think that we're altruism artists, and along with working to create change in the most creative ways in the world, we all know the urgency, the incredible urgency of this moment in time, this collective existential crisis that we're facing like never before. But at the same time, we have more creative solutions and change makers rising up right now than ever before in our history. And when we come together across disciplines, across generations, and we have an organization like Purpose Earth who gives 100% of the donations directly to these people, it is not only working to create change through arts and through the amazing projects, we're actually working to shift the art of how we are altruistic, how we are generous, and understanding how much we have more and more science that shows us giving helps us to live longer. It feeds our own souls and our own health. It is healing for us, so we can create these reciprocal cycles of generosity that are symbiotic and work to evolve the art itself of altruism together. And I just think it's a gift to be part of this.
Well, thank you for putting it that way. My mentor, Marshall Rosenberg, had a wonderful quote, which is the greatest joy in life is to contribute to the well-being of others. And you're right, we feel younger and more energy when we are giving. So thank you both, Lawrence and Rhiannon, for the beautiful work you're doing. I'm honored to be in this amazing community with you, whether it's through World Unity Week or the Global Peace Tribe. And here again, everybody, is the QR code. I imagine by now, most of you know how it works. You just take your phone, put it on the camera setting, go towards the little QR code, and boom, this little yellow thing where it says open in your browser, you open and it takes you right to where you can donate to Purpose Earth. So let's all do that. I'll leave it on for another moment. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Rhiannon.
Thank you.
And
Yeah. Thank you, Scott. There's a lot of energy for change in the world, and I think what we're all doing is really interacting with that change, and with that energy, because as we react with that energy, it makes that energy stronger, and it makes our energy stronger. So it's reciprocal, as Rhiannon said.
beautiful. And I see Susan Bloomquist has just bought one of the plastic remade items. Thank you, Susan. And thank you, everybody, as you donate. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Rhiannon. I'm really grateful for who you both are. And I know that I'll see you soon, either on the show or something with World Unity Week. And stick around, because Tatiana is about to bless us with more music. And that's always very, very special. I always, after we do fundraising, I always love to go to one of our musical artists, so we can kind of just drop into the beauty of Tatiana's music while we donate. So Tatiana, thank you for being with us. I know we're running a little bit late tonight. I'm taking an extra time to talk with our beautiful guests. So thank you for being with us.
It's a delight. And that was such an incredible presentation. I was so inspired, and I can't wait to explore this organization more and make a donation. And it's just beautiful. I was really moved, and seeing the incredible change-making force fields on this planet. It's incredible. It's so hopeful for our future. So I wanted to play a song. This song is really a healing song. I think one of the energies on this planet that's wanting to come back into balance is bringing forward the divine sacred feminine. And this song came to me. I honestly felt sometimes I work hard on a song, and I have to really sculpt it and really work hard to finesse and refine. This one just came through, and it honestly didn't feel like it was my voice. It felt like the feminine voice wanting to just reach out and embrace humanity and offer her healing love to whoever needs it. So this is called Refuge, and I actually have a real piano today, which is a live, real grand piano. So it's the first time I'm able to play this song for you live. And this is Refuge. So here we go.
All right.
Oh, my darling, come and rest here in the silence upon my chest. For so long you have fought this war. Come into my arms, don't fight anymore. When your heart is breaking, when your spirit's aching, remember, my love will hold you now. My love enfolds I can see how hard you try. I can feel how much you hold inside. Rest in this love and be renewed. Fall into me, that's all you have to do. When your heart is breaking, when your spirit's aching, remember, my love will hold you now. My love enfolds you now. I'll be your refuge, your refuge. I'll hold you. I'll hold you. I'll hold you.
I think we all feel well held by you right now, Tatiana.
Good.
Your voice is so nurturing, and it's like, oh, yeah, I feel held by your voice.
Oh, good. Yeah, I really felt when this song came through, it was like the Divine Mother, you know, just wanting to hold us all. And I was actually going through a very difficult healing crisis, and it was like she was speaking to me as well, and to me, to everyone. And so it's wonderful to be able to share it.
Thank you. And, you know, just a reminder, everybody, to definitely go to her website. I put it into the chat box just now. It's her name, TatianaSpeed.com. And definitely make sure you put in your name and your email address, which I've done. I probably
Like a lot.
yeah, probably done about 6 or 7 from now.
It's awesome. I love it.
And, you know, there's a lot of good things here, including this song we just heard. Refuge. So if you want to play it again, there it is on YouTube. And you know, Caravan is just such a beautiful video. We've shown that a few times on our show. It's so gorgeous. So thank you, Tatiana. And we're going to hear from Tatiana one more time before the night's over. So thank you so much for being with us. Thank you. Well, I'm really excited because it's time to bring Shaun Jay on. And Shaun is somebody that people say, when's Shaun Jay going to come back? We want Shaun Jay. And, you know, it was easier to get some of our entertainers during the pandemic because they weren't able to be out doing their gigs. But as the pandemic wound down, people were back out doing gigs. But luckily, we found a Saturday night that Shaun is available. And so here he is, Shaun Jay. And
hello, everybody. Hello, Scott.
Most of you know him, but for anybody who doesn't, I am going to share a little bit about him. He is a magician extraordinaire who's been seen on Fox, ABC, NBC, Masters of Illusion on the CW, and on the TEDx stage. He started his career at the age of 12, so I guess it was 5 or 6 years ago.
Something like that.
And he has studied under some of the biggest names in magic, including our beloved Jeff McBride. It was Jeff who first brought Shaun to our show and to our attention. I think you've been on the show now, Shaun, at least a half dozen times, but not for quite a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. So tell us what you've been up to.
Okay, well, let's start with some magic. How about that? Just to open this up.
Okay, all right, great.
I want to shake this up. I want to change the energy here. I want to open people's minds a little bit and get some astonishment worked into the show, because astonishment takes us back to that child's mind, and that child's mind can open new paths to creativity and amazing things. So we're going to start with the classic tool for all magicians, which is some cards. And I actually need the help of 3 people that can be live from our audience here. So if there's...
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to go to gallery view.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in being part of what Shaun's about to do, you're not going to make anybody disappear. That's my one request.
No, that's easy to do. You just turn the camera off and zoom, and that's it.
Okay. I see Eleanor Joy is volunteering.
So that's one. Thank
So
you,
I'm gonna
Eleanor.
add her. Okay. And then who else wants to volunteer?
Hi, Eleanor.
Okay, I see Nancy is raising her hand.
Hey, Nancy, come on in. Hey, Nancy's friend there. Okay, I was gonna say.
And who else? We need one more volunteer. Raise your hand, somebody, and I'll see who else is.
Promise it will be fun. This will not embarrass anybody. This is just a fun collaborative effort. It's very.
How about our wild mystic Abbott jury? Here we go. All right.
Hey, there he is. Wild Mystic Abbott. Thank you for volunteering. Okay, so we're all here. You guys can hear me okay? You can see me okay?
Yes.
We're good. Happy day. All right, so let's start with Eleanor Joy. Now, I know you guys maybe have heard of special cards and marked cards, like a marked deck. That's how magicians cheat. And so I will tell you some truth about this, that there are 3 marked cards in this deck. They're very subtly marked, but let's see if you 3 can use your intuition to find those marked cards. It's very easy. Don't overthink it. All you have to do, and let's start with Eleanor. I'm just going to let the cards fall from one hand to the other, and you just say stop anytime that you like, okay? Here we go. Before I reach the end, there might be a little lag in the Zoom time, or maybe I didn't hear you, so I'll try it one more time.
Oh, and you need to hang on. Let's unmute.
Okay, now you can hear me. Let's do it again.
Why
Sorry.
not? Okay, that's fine. We'll try it one more time. You just say stop whenever.
Stop.
There, okay. Right here. I want you to keep your eye. I'm going to keep the cards up here. Let's take a look. We have the Jack of Diamonds. I'm going to place it right here in my top pocket. Won't take it out of sight. So thank you, Eleanor. And let's have Nancy. Hopefully you're unmuted. We'll try this again with you, Nancy. Quick and easy. I go like this. You stop me somewhere. Or maybe the minion can say, can stop me. Ready? Here we go.
Banana.
Oh, wow. That was a
Stop.
great bit of ventriloquism there. That was fantastic. I did not see your lips moving. That's a skill. That's a skill. We got the Jack of Diamonds. Oh, look at this. King of Diamonds. Same, got a face card, a Jack, a King, and now finally Wild Mystic Abbott. As I go through, you just stop me anytime.
Stop.
There, okay. Right here, keep your eye on that card. Let's take a look to see what it is. We got the 9, what is it, the 9?
10 of hearts.
10 of hearts, 10 of hearts, 10 of hearts. So we got the 10 of hearts. We got the King of Diamonds, and we got the Jack of Diamonds. These were all cards that you stopped me at out of these here. And I just want to show you that there's nothing else in my top pocket. There we go. This is the, there we go, the other view that nobody sees. So I think you guys got the marked cards. You really found the marked cards. I don't know if you can believe this, but all of these cards look like this. But the ones that you found, they have a subtle marking. I don't know if you can see right on the back, that one. This one here is the symbol of peace. And this one here, you guessed it.
Tribe.
Tribe.
Very good.
You 3 are obviously part of this lovely tribe. And man, you guys have great intuition. That was fantastic.
Fabulous. That's all Twinkle. That was great.
Well done.
That was a great start.
Kicking it off strong,
Kicking it
Scott.
off,
I never
buddy.
disappoint. There's a lot of, I got a lot of hype to live up to here. We could try one more. We'll try one more because I'm feeling generous. Should we try one more really quick?
Sure. Do you need people for this?
Yeah, we'll try just with one person. This will, I'll just nail it down to one person. We got one more person want to help?
Somebody who hasn't been on yet?
I'm going to combine old technology and new technology with this one.
Okay.
And,
Let's go. How about Karen Eisenberg? I'm going to bring Karen on.
Okay,
Yeah.
bring her on. Bring her on. Hey,
Please.
Karen.
Hi.
Thanks for joining me. Thank you. This is going to be really fun. Now, this, Karen, has to do with combining old technology and new technology. Now, here with the Global Peace Tribe, we're all about thinking in new ways. And I'm going to help you guys think creatively by combining old technology, which is playing cards. They've been around for thousands of years. Started most likely by the Chinese when they made paper, and then there was passed along to the Europeans and the Spanish. And truth be told, the cards were actually used to tell secrets and to pass secrets along when in times of war. So rather than writing letters and the enemy discovering what the other party is saying, they spoke in numbers and pictures and symbols. So very old technology, but we're also going to use some new technology, which is my phone. I'm sure you all have a smartphone like this. So Karen, I'm just going to spread through, and you just stop me anytime that you'd like. I'm going to come right up to the camera and you just tell me when.
Stop.
There. Okay. Now, shall I show you the card that's underneath my thumb, or shall I go one or two this way or one or two this way? You tell me.
The one under your thumb.
The one directly under my thumb, which is this one right here. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to try to keep this where everybody can see this right here. Okay, there it is. Okay, actually, I'm going to show everybody right here. There it is. It's okay, I can see it. Okay, there it is. Everybody remember, we have the 3 of hearts. And by the way, if you would have stopped me any further, we would have got the 4 of diamonds, 6 of diamonds. They're not all the 3 of hearts, although that would make my job a lot easier. Definitely not all the 3 of hearts. So this is what we landed on by chance. Now I'm just going to try this. We're just going to grab one of the cards from the deck, and I'm going to try here. I'm going to turn on my flashlight on my phone. And if I get it close enough, can you see that little pinpoint of light there?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And I just want to show you, this is not like a hologram. I'm moving my finger behind here. You can see my hand moving my finger, blocking the light a little bit. Now, what I want you to do, Karen, and what I want everybody here that's watching this program to do, I want you to now just take that light, that light that's inside of you. Everybody's got light, the spirit source. And I want you to imagine that light slowly transforming and moving, almost as if it's an alternate reality, till it starts to slowly form something that you can see there. What does that look like? Looks like the number 3, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes. And now
wow.
It's actually going to start to move. See, it's stuck there right now, but just a little shake. And it actually starts to move again. You can see. And it actually starts to change into a heart.
Wow.
Just like the beating heart within you.
Yes.
And then with just blow towards your screen for a sec, Karen. Try it. And it all goes away. 3 of hearts. And that's how you combine old technology and new technology. Thanks for sharing your light with the Global Peace Tribe.
Thank you, Shaun.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Oh, that's so much fun.
That's some magic for you, a custom fit for this show.
Now, questions are beginning to come in.
Sure.
Dorina from Ecuador asks a question for Shaun J. What is the best and the hardest part of being such an extraordinary magician?
The best part is that I get to impact people in a positive way. And it's a way that impacts people without them staring at their phone, and there's no apps needed. It brings people back to their primal beginning. It kind of is like a reset. Magic and experiencing astonishment, it's like a mental reset. It just kind of goes, everything, like the schedule that you have in your mind, it all just goes away for a second. You go, wait a minute, what was that? What the heck did I just see there? And then you start pondering, and then you go, what is reality? What is real? Are these things, are these challenges that I'm facing in my life, are these real, or are they just an illusion? Are they temporary, which they are? And will they come to pass? Well, they will. And hopefully if I can open people's mind like that, that's the best part of my job. Taking it, I'm actually in the stress relief business, because what I do when you make people happy, it relieves stress. Makes people happy, expands their mind. That's the best part. The hardest part about what I do is educating people on just that. Because most people go, oh, that's great, that was really cute, my kids would love it, but then they're totally missing what's really going on. And so people, due to the way magic has been portrayed for so many years in the media, it's kind of been trivialized. So it's very difficult to get people to take it seriously, but I'm glad you guys do. And that's why I'm on this program. So I go where I'm wanted.
Now, I thought you were going to say actually about the hardest part, the rehearsal, because I know that in previous conversations, you've talked about the incredible number of hours it takes just to get one trick right.
Well, so I mean, so going back to your question, that there's many answers to your question. I just gave you one, but yes, rehearsal is very hard. Probably one of the hardest is taking what I do and turning it into a business. That's probably the most real world answer I can give you. It's very easy for any artist to practice, rehearse their art, and perform for themselves in their bedroom, or perform for a few friends for free, and everybody's happy and everybody enjoys it. But to take it from an art, a hobby, a passion, all the way up to a business, that's very difficult to do. So I feel blessed that I've been able to follow through those phases. But hey, I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff. It is not easy at all. So I hope that answers your questions.
Yeah. How has living in the world of illusion helped you to understand life as illusion, or as, as you're talking about bending reality or seeing reality in different ways? How does this impact you? Maybe, obviously there's a lot of spirituality, multi-denominational spirituality on this show. How does it impact your experience of reality?
It causes me, it helped me realize how much the world is an illusion, especially, for instance, reality TV, having been on a number of those shows. The truth of the matter is they're anything but reality. They're most likely the complete opposite, usually. And so it makes you realize that most of what you see going on in the world is an illusion. It's just an extension of the matrix. And magic is kind of funny because it's like a matrix within a matrix. I'm creating an illusion inside of my own illusion that I'm living, this life on the material world. So it helped me understand the temporary nature of life and the temporary nature of all things material. And it helps remind me of that, which I think is very important. When you're experiencing, whether it be success or hardship, it works both ways. Even with success, people are happy when things go well for them and usually sad when they don't. But we all have to remember the duality nature of everything. Success has its downsides too, along with not being successful. So success meaning the upside is perhaps more money, perhaps more fame, more recognition. Downside can be very stressful. Success is very temporary, and living up to a hype kind of thing is actually really hard work. And basically the bigger you are, the harder you fall. So look at look at people like Kanye West, for instance. I just watched an interview. He's so misunderstood. And like anytime he says anything that the media deems to be out of line with their narrative, comes crashing down, and it hurts. So there's two sides to the coin. So it is a balancing act, kind of like what you talked about in the recent episode we did together for my podcast, balancing act.
And we'll talk about the podcast in a moment, but I want to get to a couple of comments.
Sure.
Lots of people talk about how much they enjoy you. Amy says, Shaun, I think you're an old soul. And Pam's asking, since magic is a difficult business, how do you, Shaun, practice self-care?
Self-care, good question. I probably am more in tune with self-care than most performers. Because most performers are obsessed over their art and trade. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm obsessed too, but I realized that self-care is probably your best marketing asset. Because if you think about it this way, more than Facebook ads or pay-per-click or any of this, if you aren't taking care of yourself, you're not taking care of your mind, your body, etc., you can't perform at your best. So think about it as a marketing asset. Like if you are unwell in that moment and you try to do some kind of presentation, well, you're not going to perform at your best. And therefore it will probably affect your marketing efforts because people won't be seeing your best self or your best product. If you're a service-based professional, it's all about you performing whatever that service is. I know we got a lot of coaches here. We have musicians here. I'm sure you musicians can relate. We always talk about the show must go on, but I mean, honestly, it's much more difficult to do a great show when you're not feeling up to par. And then think about meeting fans after the show. You want to give them a great experience, and it's harder when you don't take care of yourself. So being a performer, I'm all about self-care, good sleep, taking care of dental hygiene. That's why my teeth look like that. I take brush and floss more than most people, more than you'd want to know. And yeah, because it's kind of like when you're a walking billboard for whatever you're doing, you have to practice self-care.
Beautiful.
Exercise too, diet too. I can go on and on about that.
You're inspiring me. I need to do more of those things. Dorina writes, thank you, Shaun. What I admire you the most is how you uniquely can relate your magic to the particular audience, and more specifically to the Global Peace Tribe here, in such marvelous themed ways. It remains unforgettable and so amazing. And it is true, like what you just did with the cards, that, you made a Global Peace Tribe. So, thank you for pointing that out, Dorina. He does do a beautiful job of really relating it to the topic. I know that sometimes we'll do a topic on the environment and you'll end up doing a thing with the earth or whatever it is. So, I appreciate that.
From my years doing corporate shows, customizing messages for clients, whether XYZ company, they want to get their message across. So I will custom craft something that will display logos and messages, either visually through stuff here or what I'm saying. So that's where it comes from.
Beautiful. All right, tell us about the podcast. You've got something very exciting that you're doing, which I got a chance to be a part of. Tell us about it.
Sure. So this is my pandemic project that's turned into just an extension of my business, which has been awesome in the sense that not only is it helping me to connect with amazing people that inspire me on the I didn't start the show from a selfish standpoint. I started the show because I will give credit where credit is due. Jeff McBride actually did. He was the one that pushed me to start the podcast. He said, you're really good at talking to people. You're really good on camera. You're good at talking to people. You should do some kind of podcast show. And so we brainstormed, and it's called the Making Magic podcast, the Making Magic with Shaun J podcast. It's now available on all the major streaming networks, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, et cetera. And it's all about conversations to get your creative gears turning. Now, I just want to make clear, this is not like, what did you have for breakfast today? Just blowing in the breeze with no direction. here. Scott, you've been on the show and you know it's a creativity focused podcast. And as a creative entrepreneur, I wanted to come up with a program that will impact the world in a positive way, designed to get people's creative gears turning in their head, because a lot of people feel like stuck in a rut, whether it be in their job that they hate. There's so many people in that position right now, or and perhaps an artist looking for inspiration because they're stuck in whatever patterns and they just need some like little push over the edge to just go, oh, I didn't think that was possible, or oh, I see what that person's doing. That's really cool. Because that's how I always get inspired with my work. I look at other creatives and I just go, wow. Like for instance, Jeff McBride, when I found out about him, I studied all of his tapes and written material. And I was just like, man, this is really cool. This inspired me to break out of my comfort zone and work on this type of material. Or if I see someone like, for instance, I just interviewed, this will be coming out in the future, the co-founder of Siri. His name is Adam Shire. And he was massively inspiring, talking about how he created Siri. And Siri, the original version of Siri, was originally designed in 1993. And it wasn't until like, I believe it was 2010 or something. I have to look at the interview, but it was like 18 years. The Siri that you have on your phone is like 18 years in the making. And even with all the magical things that it does, he said he's still disappointed. He wished he could have done more with it. I mean, it was just a magical conversation, mind-blowing conversations. And Scott, your episode was fantastic. I could actually, is it okay if I just share a little snippet of your episode right now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'll just pull up a screen share. I think your audience would appreciate this. Here we go. Okay, here it is. That is Luna Shimada. I was going to show you hers as well. Why is it? Here it is, Scott. Is it still showing Luna Shimada?
It is showing a big black bar.
Black bar. Okay. Let's see. Said QuickTime. Let's try close these other QuickTime windows down. Maybe that's the problem. Can you see?
There we go.
There it is.
Yep. There's still one black bar covering up you. So you and remind me sometime to talk to you about advanced video settings, because what happens is if you don't do that, then we see your other stuff.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Well, here we go. I was going to show you Luna Shimada anyway, but here we'll just do Scott.
We are here to go to the edge, and I've always lived on the edge. But sometimes I've fallen off the edge flat on my face. But I don't want to stop living on the edge, right? I mean, that's our job as visionaries, whether we're an artistic visionary or a toolmaker visionary. We are here to live on the edge. It's just finding that way not to fall off.
Welcome back to another episode of the Making Magic podcast. So I do a really nice intro for each guest. I don't want to waste anybody's time with all that, but I intro the guest and we get into a super deep conversation. We had a great conversation, Scott and I, about his mission to impact the world with media, which he's doing right now with his program, and it was amazing. So it's this focused conversations, and I think your audience would get a lot of value out of this. So I've been doing a new episode every month, but I'll probably do them more frequently since I actually have a backlog of other ones that I haven't even released yet. And
yeah, I'm going to your webpage now. There they are. And again, you go to SeanJMagic.com. That's his main page, and then click podcast. And there's the person you were just talking about. And look at all these amazing episodes you've done with a lot of really remarkable people. There's our good friend, Jeff McBride.
There's this guy, Bran Ferrin, on the left side. He's the past president of creative Imagineering for Walt Disney. He designed the concepts for rides like Fast Track and the Tower of Terror. That was a
Wow.
fascinating episode.
Wow.
So
So you got a lot going on. These are all really wonderful. You can find all these by going to SeanJMagic.com and then just click where it says podcast.
and it's also so it's video and audio interviews. So if you don't want to just sit in front of the screen and watch the video, you could take it on the go on your phone with the podcast, Apple Podcast app, Spotify, or any of those to listen to.
Shaun, thank you so much for putting that together.
Sure.
All right, so what would you like to conclude with? Do you want to share a little bit more about yourself? Do you have a little something else that you want to demonstrate? It is completely up to you how you want to conclude this moment in time.
Sure. So following the theme with everybody else, I'll just say this. I release these episodes on a regular basis, and it's a passion project of mine. And there are 3 ways that you can support the show. The first one is totally free. You can just, this is the easiest one. If you enjoy any of the episodes, just simply when you're on your phone listening, like on Apple Podcasts, there's a way to rate and review the show. That way, more people will get a chance to see this stuff. You just pull it up on the podcast app, and you just scroll down to the bottom, and then you can, where is it? You can, here it is. There it is. Yep, you can rate and review the show. And I've already got some reviews. People are enjoying it. Hopefully you are. So that's one free, easy way to support the show. Be greatly appreciated. The second way is, if you want, you can, any of your listeners, if they have businesses they want to promote, you can sponsor an episode, because I do a professional recording and an intro, and I can mention the sponsors using my on-camera talent and way of speaking, like I'm speaking to you guys right now. And then the last way, if you wanted to support, if you just couldn't contain yourself and you really wanted to do this, it's totally optional. You can just go right here. Let's see. There it is. And that is the newsletter. There it is. There it is. If you scan that QR code, it'll take you to a page where you can support the show monthly for as little as 99 cents, which is way less than a Starbucks, all the way up to like $10 or $20 or something. It's totally optional, but just to let you guys know, what that will do is I will be reinvesting all of that money into better sound, better video equipment, and basically most of the money that I make with just everything that I do gets reinvested back into my business. So if you're interested in that, feel free. I'll keep releasing episodes regardless, but this will be greatly appreciated if you decide to do so. So yeah, that's a little bit about the show. I think your audience will enjoy it.
I am filling out I'm putting it in right now.
Wow. Okay. You're very kind. Very kind.
And there we go.
And I'm not trying, it's not like a big sales thing. It's just like, this is how you want to support. It's free up to, if you have the means, go for it. I will greatly appreciate it. So regardless, I'll still keep providing free, valuable content all the time for you guys to get your creative gears turning. There you go.
Beautiful. I just supported you at $4.99 a month.
Thanks, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Shaun, thank you.
Yes.
It's a joy to have you on the show, and today's a little different. I just wanted to make it more people getting to know who you are and what you do and what it's like to be Shaun J. And give my love to your mother. I had the opportunity to meet Shaun and his mother when I was in Asheville, North Carolina. So I still am hoping, we're going to have our first Global Peace Tribe retreat in Sedona. And, I'm hoping in 2023 to do the one in Asheville. So hopefully it'll work out. Shaun, thank you so much. And I know we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much.
Take care, brother.
Bye-bye.
All right. The show, I ended up just deciding to converse a little bit longer with people tonight. And honestly, I only got about 3 hours sleep last night, and I had my satsang this morning. And so we're going to kind of conclude a little bit quicker. I'm not going to show the video of Sharif tonight. We are going to go to one more song with Tatiana, but I do want to do some Global Peace Tribe announcements. And I want to really encourage people to come tomorrow morning. That's another reason why I want to get a good night's rest tonight. Because tomorrow morning, I've put together a really remarkable group of people. These are all world-class healers and visionaries. Annette Carlstrom is actually quite well known. She's like the voice of the whole oneness movement with the Diksha, with Bhagavan Kalki, and that whole international organization. She's a very amazing visionary who I've had the honor to travel with a few years ago. Bart Smythe is quite well known. He's a world-class healer. Beamy Casey is a longtime friend of mine who helped bring all these people together. And so tomorrow morning, we're going to be talking about some really remarkable new breakthroughs in healing our bodies and anti-aging. So definitely make sure you join us tomorrow morning. And if you can't join us at 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern, definitely make sure you watch the replay of tomorrow's show, because it's going to be one of the most important shows that I've done. They really have some incredible technologies that they're going to be sharing. So I'm excited about that. And I'm, of course, wanting to let everybody know again about our upcoming retreat taking place in Sedona. I just locked in the big house that a lot of us are going to be staying in. Daniel Brinkley is going to be joining us. We have a lot of amazing presenters, the Super Conscious Music Festival. All of this is happening in Sedona, Arizona, October 20th to the 24th. And yes, I know it's a thing to get to Sedona, but once you're there, we're going to have such a remarkable time. And of course, you know me by now, I'm very inclusive, and I recognize that most of you won't be able to be there in person. Don't worry, I am going to live stream as much as I can from Sedona. So that weekend on the Awakening World, the times might be a little bit different. I'm going to see how I can structure things. But we will be live streaming from Sedona so that we can include all of you who are watching. And I'll put the information about the Sedona retreat in while Tatiana is playing the kind of final song for tonight. Finally, I also want to encourage everybody to know about this course that I'm going to be teaching specifically for men. And, you know, last night's show, which was very powerful, was all on what do women truly want. And it really was kind of inspired by my friend Steve Rowland and I, who are going to be teaching a course specifically for men. And the course is going to start on October 20th. It's online. It's on Thursday nights. And I really hope that any of you that know men that you think want to cultivate more consciousness, who want to really find the balance, Stephen and I have a lot to teach. And we're going to be really dealing with healthy masculine embodiment, emotional intelligence, shadow work, spirituality, tantric sexuality, compassion, communication. It's going to be a great course. The early bird lasts for 2 more days, actually. So now is a good time to register. And this would be a great gift. If you know men that you think would benefit from my mastery and my modeling, register them for the course. It would be a great thing to do. So there you have it. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. I recognize it's a little bit of a different show than usual, but we're going to continue to try new things throughout this new season. We have a lot of great partnerships. We're going to be collaborating with Humanities Team. We're going to be partnering with the Evolutionary Leaders Network. And a lot of your favorite people like Kristen Hoffman are going to be back on the show, Louisa Stowe, but always also bringing you new people as well, like we got Reverend Diamond for the first time tonight. So with all of that, I want to turn it over to Tatiana, who's going to close us out with one more wonderful song. There she is. Hello, Tatiana.
Hello, dear Scott. Just a quick question. I could do a sneak peek of my new song. I sent it to you, the song Voices. It's not released, so it would be you would be the first to hear it.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Okay.
Now, if I'm going to do that, I need a few minutes to transfer it. Is it on a YouTube?
It's not actually a video. It's a YouTube, but it's not a video, so you don't have to worry about the images. It's just going to be the audio track because it's not.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if but that's an option.
Sure. And yes, I will mention your Patreon. I'm just seeing that note right now. So what would that be like? So we would play the track.
You'd play it off of YouTube. I sent you the link. I can send it to you again.
And send it to me in chat?
Yeah, I'll send it to you there. Here we go. This is a new song. It is not released anywhere. I was originally going to share it tonight, actually, but then I told Scott, no, it's not released yet. And probably we should wait. But I'm feeling the inspiration to share it with you guys. You'll be the first to hear it. And it's not a video, so you're just going to hear the audio track.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead then and go to it.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and visit.
Okay. But you're going to want to share audio with us, I think, because otherwise it's going to not. When you click share screen, there's an option to share computer audio.
I think I've already did that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that I clicked share sound.
Okay, then you're probably good. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Good. So now it's confused. So let's start all over again here. I lost it. Give me a moment. Okay. Here we go.
She tried to hide when the soldiers came, as the bombs fell like rain, and the whole world changed. She holds her children tight, praying they will make it through the night, but we see the morning light. Leave it all behind, one last look at their home, a refugee praying for peace with all her soul. Na 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 na, hear us now. Na 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 na, hear us now. Na na na, hear the voices rising all around the world. Na 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 na, hear us now. Na 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 na, hear us now. Na na na, hear the voices rising all around the world. He never meant to be the one with the gun. He didn't mean to become so numb. He regrets the things he's done. He wanted to serve, he wanted to be brave, but there's a price he paid. Innocence died along the way. He never questioned, he just obeyed. He knows he's lost his way, a soldier praying for peace with all his soul. Hear us now. Hear us now. Hear the voices rising all around the world. Hear us now. Hear us now.
Wow. Wow. That is just extraordinary. Oh. I'm so honored that we got to be the first ones to hear it. Wow, thank you.
You guys are definitely the first to hear this, so thank you for being the first and the witness.
You know, I can only imagine the incredible amount of work to, laying all those tracks, and wow.
This was one of the most exciting songs I've produced yet, because I had a whole choir that came. Like, those voices you're hearing, I had a full choir and we created all the harmonies, and it was so powerful because I really wanted to create the feeling of voices around the world and to give all those layers of all those different voices. So, and like you can hear the solos throughout. That's me, and that's also, there's 3 other singers that are just incredible that are weaving those. So it was an amazing thing to create.
Now tell us about the choir. Like, where did you get them? Or
Dawn Pemberton, if you look her up, she's from Vancouver, and she's amazing, and she runs a choir here. And so I worked with her, and she would be worth coming on the show. She has the voice of the like, her voice is insane. It's so powerful, and she's just an amazing woman and force in the world. So she was she kind of spearheaded the choir. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I want to definitely promote your Patreon and refresh my memory of where I find it. Is it on your website here?
It's not on my website. I'll send you the link, I think.
Yeah, send me the links so that I can put that in for people. And again, everybody, Patreon is such a wonderful way. I support a lot of the artists you've seen on this show. Cornflower, Kristen Hoffman has her own membership site that I support. Nina Gray, I support through Patreon. John and Summer Raymer, the Sign Network, Becky, Suzette, who you saw last week. These are all people that I support through Patreon. And I know many of you also support people through Patreon. So I like it because it gives artists an opportunity to know that they've got a monthly income coming in, like every month. Yeah. My Patreon bill is automatically deducted, but I know that that's going to the different people. So here is her Patreon, and I'll put the link into the chat box in a moment. Yes, I'll accept the cookies. And so you come in at different levels, $3, $7, or $11. And I see that you actually got more levels, 25, 50, or 100, or 150. And each level of support, she provides different things for you. And it's so important for our artists to know that they've got that monthly income coming in. So I'm going to personally launch into the stratosphere, because I haven't joined your Patreon yet, have I?
You have, Scott. You are one of my first people. You're the sweetest person in my life.
Okay,
you are just a divine angel on my path. No, you were like, I think maybe the first person. So thank you for that.
I vaguely remember that now. Okay, I was ready to sign up again. It's like,
you're so sweet. Every time I come on, you sign up. You've signed up to my website too, like 10 times. It's amazing. Yeah, and thank you so much for your support of artists, like, and for recognizing what a hustle it is. It is such a hustle, and even the cost of producing each. I mean, I put more into producing my tracks than I ever make back from music right now, and that's fine. I really just want to be able to keep creating, and so right now the Patreon account is really just to support me being able to continue to put out high quality music, which is very expensive actually, and something I really want to continue doing because there's so much music that's inside of me. So yeah.
And beautiful videos. We didn't show any of your videos tonight, but you make such beautiful videos. So your dedication to inspire, what is the awakening world all about? What do we see at the beginning? Inform, inspire, take action. And your music, your videos are exactly that. You inform us, you inspire us to take action. You know, I'm always this song we just listened to. It's so tragic, these kids right now that are being forced to go to Ukraine from Russia. And just what they're being asked to do is terrible. And then what ends up happening to them is terrible. And I so appreciate how you put that into such heartfelt lyrics as an example of the work that you do, Tatiana. So thank you. Thank you so much. Well, that is our Awakening World for tonight. And thank you, everybody. I'm going to go to gallery view. I always like to close out on gallery view. So turn on your cameras. Oh my God, Lawrence is still with us. God bless you, Lawrence, for the wonderful work you do with Purpose Earth. Omashar will be with us tomorrow. We'll get some more Omashar music. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And those of you who don't have your cameras on, we still love you. Take care, everybody. Get a good night's rest. We've got a really important show tomorrow morning. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow, I hope. Take care and good night.